This is Asake Online. Welcome to Agriculture on Site. From oyster to shiitake to button, mushrooms are enjoyed as a delicacy all over the world. But have you ever wondered how they are produced? Well, let's take a deep dive into this spectacular world of mushroom farming. My guest today is Thandie Gumede Magunje, who is a mushroom entrepreneur. Thandie, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for bringing me here.
What inspired you to go into mushroom farming?
Okay. It's watching the TV show when I was a young girl. I loved the cleanliness of how mushrooms were done because I used to see these men wearing white gumboots, farming mushrooms, and I used to hear that it's got money. So that's what inspired me to start mushroom when I got the opportunity.
And how did you get started?
It was when the WFP and World Food Program staff were interviewing people in my community on how they are surviving in harsh conditions. So we were interviewed and we were articulating our challenges, everyone. So to qualify, they would assess how you are living as a family and the number of people in the home. So as for me, I'm a former dental nurse. I was just lost my job during COVID-19. So I spoke to them, told them my challenge is that my husband is also working at a retail outlet and is earning little money, and I've just been retrenched from work. So we don't have any income. We are living in kind of hardship times. So I was lucky to be one of the people who were selected to get cash sponsorships awemali through Western Union by Swiss Agents, which is the funder for WFP and World Food Program. So while we were still getting those funds, they decided to train people how to do projects, their income generating projects, instead of continuing to give them money. So we were taught how to fish on ourselves instead of being given the fish, because they noticed that if they go away, normally the donors they come and the programs they end, they go. Then what will these people going to survive on? So they gave us projects. So when they came to me, they told us we've got peanut butter, chicken project, nutritional gardens. And then I asked them that I would love to do mushroom. Remember, I said I once saw mushroom before on TV. So they said, at the moment, we don't have mushroom. And then I said, rabbit. They said, at the moment, no rabbit. So after a while, I got a call from them, Mama, now we have mushroom production. So we need people that we can train, who can train other people. The program was called the Training of Trainers. So I went on for that training for almost the whole week. We're being trained at Benside at their offices. After that, they would allocate you some people to train. And then from there, they'll take it from there. You are now able to train other people, and they can rely on you as their champion in their community. So I excelled from there.
We talk casually about mushroom. Really, what is it? Is a mushroom here? What, a vegetable? Or, I even heard someone saying a mushroom is actually the meat from the ground. Maybe like, tell us a little bit more. What are mushrooms?
It's a vegetable. It's meat from the ground. Everything is okay. So it is a substitute for meat, and it's a vegetable. But mushroom is a fungi. And what happens is we buy our seed of mushroom from South Africa, a company called Slyvan, and then we come here and plant our mushrooms indoors. It's a crop that thrives indoors. You have to make a shed or a structure, and then you enhance the darkness there. Normally, we put black plastics to enhance the darkness. Then you plant them inside there because they don't need a direct sunlight, just like the vegetables in the garden. They'll be just in the open. But for them, they have to be indoors.
Well, you already preempted the question that I was going to ask you, maybe to tell us the process really of actually
Okay.
growing mushrooms from when I take it spawn up to the time you harvest.
Yes. When we have our spawn, we then source substrate. That is the materials that we use for making the bedding. So we would plant our mushrooms in baler bags, which are plastics specifically for planting mushrooms. And then we can also plant them on tins, containers, even as little from the 500 mils yogurt. You can plant mushrooms there as long as there is ventilation on your tins. Also for those plastics, we also put some small holes for ventilation so that the mycelium that is within the spawn can colonize the whole bag. That is to take over the bag and the mushrooms will grow from there.
And growing these mushrooms, how long does it take? And are there any? Do you need to actually have special conditions ahead? You talking about that? You have to package them and say.
Okay, yeah, there are special conditions. We have to maintain some temperatures in that housing for mushrooms. It's supposed to be 18 to 28 degrees. So you can have a hygrometer to check the humidity there because it has to be humid as well. And for the temperature, you can use that hygrometer to check temperature and the humidity inside there. So also the conditions is the place has to be ventilated enough because the mushroom breathes. So it has to have some ventilation where the air should be circulating, but from the top, not it directed to the mushrooms. So it has to be circulating from the top, going in and going out, because the mushroom breathes and it needs that freshness in the housing.
Are there any different types of mushroom that
Yeah,
you're actually
maybe
growing?
I'll mention just the simple, maybe the common ones. As we are doing oyster mushrooms, and then there's button mushroom, there's shiitake mushroom. The button, normally they say you have to plant it where in a room where there's some aircons to control the temperatures inside. And then for the shiitake, it's planted on wood logs whereby you drill on the wood and then somehow you put the spawn inside. I'm not well versed on that one, but I know it's a medicinal mushroom. And then it takes longer to colonize. It takes a longer period, but I know that it's very expensive because it's medicinal mushroom. And then for the button as well, it's an expensive mushroom more than oyster. But for us, as we are doing the trainings to train other people, we train them the easiest. That can be done by anyone at the backyard of your house, whereby you can construct a, a makeshift cabin that is simple to do, and then you can plant the oyster mushrooms because even the inputs, the substrate itself, it's quite cheap. You can even get it for free because you can use things like nutshells, bean pods, maize stalks, cotton seed hulls, wheat straws, those things that are the remains after you have planted some crops like maize, wheat, that is the substrate that we use. All you do is to disinfect that using hydrated lime and sodium hypochlorite to disinfect it and make it clean. And then you can make it as compost and then you put the seed inside and then the mushrooms come out.
How then do you actually control quality and also the freshness of or ensure the freshness of your mushroom, given that mushrooms are also very perishable?
Yeah, to control, I think if your environment where you are planting them is clean and you practice that extra hygiene. For example, let me mention that you have to put a foot bath as you are going inside that mushroom house. You have to put a chemical that is hydrated lime inside the water, like at the border where you stamp your feet before you go in there, so that you don't take any diseases inside your house. It has to stay clean. So when you are planting your mushroom like that, you be certain that there won't be any diseases coming in, maybe from outside your cabin.
And how do you handle, like, are there any pests or diseases that would affect mushrooms?
Um, the pests that are common with mushrooms are the rats, because once they test the spawn, because the spawn is made of the mycelium is coated on barley or wheat, sometimes the nyawuti, those small grains. So once the rats taste that, they will disturb you a lot in the cabin. They want to destroy everything. And even if they tested the mushroom themselves, they want to destroy everything. So how you control that is, you put that booklet where when they stamp on it, they stick there. It's common at the Chinese shops. You can buy that one, or you can put slag to tea, because we are not allowed to put medicine like poison in the mushroom house.
Why?
Because the mushroom, the rats who eat the poison and then go on to bite the mushrooms, and then the mushrooms will turn poisonous. And then with that question that you asked me, maybe let me address also the issue of people saying mushroom is poisonous. Okay. Mushroom gets to be poisoned because of the environment where it comes from. Like maybe where it grows. So our mushroom is not poisonous because we plant it ourselves in a safer environment that I've mentioned before, that you can either have a makeshift cabin or whatever type of mushrooms, but somewhere, a structure that you have made yourself. It's unlike the mushroom that you pick from the bush. It can germinate or grow anywhere that is not safe. For example, if the mushroom grows close to impande zomnyi, they can be poisonous. If the mushrooms grow under maybe, let's say, a gum tree, because the gum trees, when they are planted, they are treated. So that chemical that is used to treat that gum trees can turn the mushrooms to be poisonous. Also, we never know, even the leaves of the gum tree, I mean the flowers, if they are dropping, they could turn mushroom poisonous. So for us to plant where it's safer, that's what qualifies us to tell you that our mushrooms are safe. They are not poisonous. Because there's an instance where I was selling my mushrooms sometime before I had my customers. I was walking around selling my mushrooms in saloons. So this one man said, "I don't buy mushrooms; they are poisonous." And everyone just ignored me. I didn't manage to sell. It became a problem to me. So at least now people are now well versed that there are mushrooms that are planted by people, not taken from the bush. So now we are able to sell.
Yeah, because many people know, yes, there's been instances that people would actually collect wild mushrooms and not knowing which varieties are, are safe to eat and which are poisonous. Yeah, then you grow these mushrooms. How do you market, and where do you even sell?
Once you get trained and you produce mushrooms, you can sell via WhatsApp status to individuals. You can come to us to ask for referrals. Where can I take my mushrooms? As we are selling mushrooms to different quite number of customers, we sell to individuals. We sell sometimes to Wolfsgrove, and we've got our best client who buys almost every week, which is Roasted Bean. It's an eatery in town. We've got quite a number of individual customers. Just to mention the list, those are the supermarkets that we can mention. Like,
so, would you say then there's quite a big market, demand for mushrooms?
yes, because anytime you go to Wiscov, you will take. There's no time when you would say, no, we have much mushrooms. And if you check the market analysis online, you realize that on mushrooms, always recorded nil. There's no mushrooms. We are actually providing less than what the nation needs in terms of mushroom, even on button.
That is interesting. And so, how is your production like? Maybe
I would say our future plans maybe is to plant more at a bigger space. Because at the moment we are planting at Njube, we are using wooden cabins. We are limited by the space. But as we grow more, and the good part in terms of our production is the people that we train, as they produce, we take to at least supply in bulk to the supermarkets and even to our other clients.
Yeah, because I was still interested to understand how large is the demand for mushroom? Maybe here in Bulawayo, where is your main market. That's why I was actually asking you about, or maybe how much do you even produce on a weekly basis that you're saying you can't even meet the demand. So there's a huge gap.
Okay, average in a weekly basis, we are producing like 400 to 500 panels, because the mushrooms they sprout in flashes. So this week I might have more mushrooms, more than the following week I might have less, because they produce in flashes. So if I have the biggest flash this week, the other week they might be less. So our average is around 400 to 500 panels per week. And we're selling our mushrooms $1 per 200 grams.
Right. And are you doing any value addition beyond that? You actually sell the mushrooms fresh as food?
Yes, we dry our mushrooms. We have a solar dryer where we dry most of our vegetables, but mostly our mushrooms, we dry them in that solar dryer, because we don't want the nutrients fading away. So the solar dryer's got shelves where we dry them inside that solar dryer, to enhance the food that is within the mushrooms.
What kind of challenges are there in mushroom farming that if anybody would be interested in going to mushroom farming can be wary of?
Okay. It's not a challenge really. I don't see any big challenges there, but I can say that the inputs can be scarce sometimes when, like for example, this time there's drought. So to find those inputs that we use as substrate, like the wheat straws, they'll be out of stock, and you have to really try hard to source those inputs. But we're now used to that because we stock those things. Even if we say this week we don't have, but definitely we'll source those things. Like for example, the nutshells, we get them from people who do nutshells at Shasha. And then the cotton seeders, they are the ones that sometimes are a challenge, but we really try hard as mushroom farmers to source the inputs. And the other challenge, like I mentioned, is the rats. So that one we counter it by having to put mesh wire outside our cabins, so that the rats won't get inside.
And is there particular what kind of tools or even equipment do you need or do you actually use in mushroom farming?
For the equipment, we use plastic containers. We have to have plastic containers because we don't use any other material like zinc or what, because we're afraid of rust. So we're just using plastic materials like the bins, plastic bins for soaking our substrates. And then what we, besides having the housing, also we need to have, like, you need to have a knife and a syringe. The syringe is for treating the mushrooms, because sometimes they can get sick, those plastic bales where we are planting. So if you see the green mold in there, know that your mushrooms are affected. So you have to treat them using hydrated lime. So we inject the lime there, just a little bit of quantity of lime there. And also the knife is for opening the holes underneath after the planting. And also we use bella twine, because there are different methods of putting mushrooms in your housing. It's either you hang them using the bella twine, or you can put the shelves. So we use bella twine, and those bella plastics also, they are the inputs that we are using. There's not much that we're using on mushroom. If you have your spawn, which is your seed, and you have those bella twine, bella plastic, and you have your substrate, you have your plastic dishes. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but those are mainly the things that are needed when you are planting mushrooms.
Interesting, you have been doing mushrooms for quite a while now, and you've been becoming even a champion a producer. How has this mushroom farming actually made a difference for you in your life?
Okay. For me and my family, mushroom, I can say it's a 4-pay plan, whereby here I've lost a job and now my children are still going to school. I pay my school fees for my children, some years ago, when I would see something maybe online that I would want to attend. For example, recently, just this week, there was a girls in STEM workshop that I wanted to attend. I can just simply pay for myself and attend what I want to attend and upgrade myself even better. I'm also even a student. I'm starting a degree in public health. I pay my online fees for that university where I do my schooling. So I think in terms of education for me and my children, and for food at home, and for clothing, we are comfortable with mushroom. And we want to expand even to mention other bigger things that we will do with mushroom.
So many opportunities have mushroomed as a result of you being involved in mushroom farming.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you work with your family?
Yes, I work with my husband and my children, and we subcontract other people when we are planting, because we plant once and we put more as we plant, even for the soaking.
Awesome. Wonderful. There you are, a mushroom success story. My guest today was actually Thandie Gumede Magunje, who's a mushroom entrepreneur in Bulawayo. Join us next time for a demonstration really on the growing of mushrooms. And thank you for watching. This is Agriculture on Site.